Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation with our amazing guest expert and a speaker, Majbrit Bøttger. So, today we'll be talking about how to beat distractions and become productivity queen. If you have been struggling with distractions, with overwhelm, too much on your to do list, trying to wear all the hats that are out there for you to wear in your business, and you're just struggling to really find your lane and find that productivity to get things done, this live is for you. So if you're watching this live right now, I want you to go ahead and share this live right now. Or if you're watching this on replay, do hashtag replay and share it with a few people who might need it. And also introduce yourself in a chat. So Majbrit is one of our speakers for the upcoming Women Thrive Summit, but also she's so much more than that. She's an experienced speaker and one of the only 200 elite certified high performance coaches worldwide. She's also an executive contributor for the Brains magazine, and she has been working with the concept of high performance for more than a decade. She's helping entrepreneurs, business owners, C-suite leaders, and solopreneurs to really take their business to that next level with high performance and high productivity coaching. So today we have a pleasure of having our wonderful speaker, Majbrit, here today. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's dark here in Denmark.
Yes. Where are you joining us from?
Denmark.
Denmark. Which part?
South Denmark. Close to the German border.
Amazing. Well, let us know in the comments where you're joining us today if you're watching this live. So, Margaret, we talk a lot about the overwhelm and distractions in business because I think these are one of the things that really slow us down from achieving our goals. Why have you chosen this as a subject to talk about? And tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I chose this. It's been really important in my life to figure out how to navigate in all this as building up a business because you go from being an employee and you come into work at 8 o'clock and you leave at 4. And in that time frame, somebody tells you what they expect you to do in that time frame. And that's easy.
Mm,
All of a sudden, you're your own boss. You have to figure out your own job, your own task. You have to prioritize a lot of things that were never an issue when you were working 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or whatever.
yeah.
And it gets overwhelming because all of a sudden you're an accountant, you're a SOMI manager, you are a marketing person, you also a coach or whatever field you're in. For me, it was a coaching, and you have to do all of these things. You have to be a website designer, all kinds of stuff that you'd never even tried before. And you look at it and go like, oh
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna die with this. And so I think it's really important to figure out, how do you navigate in all of this? How do we prioritize? Because the overwhelm comes from not knowing your next step.
Yeah.
Uh, so building a battle board is extremely valuable when it comes to productivity. One, if you have a battle board, and I can explain in a little while what it's all about, is really simple. But if you have a battle board, you keep motivation and momentum going. You know what your next step is all the time. So we have this tendency to make this. We have this huge to-do list, right? And the last five tasks on this to-do list we never get to do because we don't
Mm.
like them. So we push them for tomorrow's to-do list. And when I jump into your calendar a month from now, they're still on your to-do list.
I relate. Ladies, do you relate to that? Do you have like a task that you have been on and on pushing off and off and off for so long that it's like, that's never going to get done. And one day you just get mad at yourself and you're like, that's it, that's getting crossed over out of my list.
Yeah, well, exactly. At some point, you're going to reach a drop dead deadline on that particular task.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. And once you do it, they go like, oh, it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it would be.
No,
Because we
it never
have this
is.
idea. No, it never is. We push it in front of us. And while we push, it becomes a monster. And the further we
Mm,
push it, the bigger the monster.
Yeah.
So this is a Navy SEAL kind of hack. Embrace the suck. That's
Mm.
what they say in Navy SEALs. So start out with what you don't want to do. Because if you have done this before, you also know that once you can check it off and you actually do the task, you go like,
Yeah.
oh, such a relief. I should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So even though we don't think it's going to fill up our brain power, it does. And it's going to be in the back of our head, constantly reminding us that we are not fit for this, or we are lazy, or we are whatever negative talk you use against yourself. It's going to come
Mm.
up in situations like that. So try and avoid them instead.
Yeah, of course. Well, I know we all have that one thing that we procrastinating to do, or this one thing that we don't want to do. How do we get around that? I know you have quite a few strategies and toolbox in your back pocket, and this we could probably be here all day trying to get to the magic sweet spot of how to get things done. But if there are a few things that you could share with some of the ladies today, what would be those hacks that we can get past that procrastination and start achieving our goals?
The first thing would be to build a battle board. And a battle board is really simple. It's a cross. You can do like painter's tape. Is that what it's called? On the wall, because then you won't rip off the paint afterwards. It's just across this way. And on the top left corner, you write done. On the
Mm,
top right corner, you write project. On
mm,
the bottom left corner, you write task. And on the bottom right corner, you write pending. So what it does is, and then you take post-it notes, right? Like these post-its. And you
mhm,
put out, you take a big project or a lot of little tasks, whatever your situation is, and you put them on each one get their own post-it note. Each task get their own, and put them down as little bites as possible, and you put them under task. Once you start one, you move it to pending. Once you're done with it, you move it to done. See, in that way, you see the snake moving. So you
mhm.
feel when, even if you had a day where you felt like you didn't do nothing, you can see on the board that you did. And the satisfaction, because many people have this on Trello and stuff like that, online calendars, stuff like that. But the magic here is to get to move the poster physically.
Mm.
And the whole idea that the done is top left corner is we read, at least in Western world, we read from left to right, top
Correct.
left. So the first thing you're going to see when you see your battle board is all the things that you've done.
Oh.
And that's going to
I love
create
it.
momentum.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't it just feel good when you just like ticked off a task that's just been there looming over you forever?
Yes, it does. And you put it up there and then you go to celebrate, even no matter how small that is. When you put it and done, you go to like, yeah, confetti, because you did something, you finished something, you did it. And you can
Yeah.
see the movement. You can see how this one with the task is getting smaller and the done is getting bigger. And it's you always know what to do next because it's right there on the board. You always know what
Yeah.
to do next. And that's why you don't procrastinate when you have a battle board.
So, Sugar Press said, can you repeat the chart? So, what are those four things that you have in the crosses?
Top left corner. Am I doing it right? Or is it this mirrored? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Top
Yeah.
left, top left corner is the done. This is celebration time. And top right corner is the project, the name of the project. If you want to, I don't know, write a book, the project could be book. And then lower left box is the tasks, all the tasks you have. And the lower right box is pending because you don't get to finish every task all the time once you get going. Sometimes you need a response back from somebody before you can finish it, or you're waiting for something else, and then you can park it under pending and you can start another one. But be
Mm.
aware, it's not allowed to park more than 3 at a time, because otherwise you will just move your task list to your pending list and you won't, won't get
They never
anywhere.
complete.
And
And what's the difference between the task and the project, which of course we all know why having two of those, and how do you distinguish between the two?
it's just to fill up the corner. It's if you have a complex project, it's nice to name it and put a deadline in there. If you have a deadline for, I want to release my book by January 1st, you have a very visible deadline marked up here and the book. And then you have all the tasks related to that book release in the lower left corner. So it's just to know, because if when you're building a business, you might have more than one battle board. I do. One could be for me, and another one could be for exactly for a book. So you can have different battle boards, and it's nice to know which one it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds as and we can't see your name, but please introduce yourself in the chat. Love how you differentiate these. And so many lovely comments we can see in the chat. So what I want to encourage you in the chat, to make sure you introduce yourself a little bit. Let us know where in the world you are. We'd love to know where you're joining us from today. And also, do you have a question for Majbrit around distractions, productivity, higher performance, how to get things done, and really move to that next stage of your business? So Majbrit has been doing this for more than a decade. She has a lot of tools and strategies to help you. So we would love to answer any of your questions. We're here for a few more minutes, probably 10 more minutes on this live. So we definitely want to answer any of your questions. Majbrit, what has been your own experience? Why did you choose to go into high performance?
Oh, you mean my background for it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a long story, but I got completely stressed out. I totally crashed back in, well, early 12, late 11, but I didn't know it myself until early 12. And I totally crashed. I was a hot mess. And I was struggling through that and got kind of nowhere. And I ran in, this is a really short version, right? So I ran into Brendan Bøttger in Copenhagen, and he said, you know what? Here's a program, you find the answer there. And sometimes when everything is a mess, you just need somebody to tell you, do this. And then you're back in the move, and you kind of feel like you're doing something, and it gets you fired up. And whatever, and the program he gave me was really awesome. So it kept the fire going. And a couple of years later, he asked me if I wanted to be certified. And I said, I don't know how that could ever happen. I was alone with 3 kids, and it's kind of pricey. And 3 years later, he asked me again, and I did it. And nothing changed other than my mindset. So, but in the years between, I was working with the concept of high performance. I was working with how can you be better? How can you improve courage, productivity, influence, energy, clarity? All starts with clarity, right? Figure out who are you, where you want to go, who do you want to be.
Yeah.
So I was working with that, and eventually when he asked me the second time, I said yes. And I got certified, and now I'm certified at level 4. So I've been doing this quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, we always, when we have this struggle or challenge ourselves, we really want to help other people to solve it. And I know how difficult it was for you, really going through that burnout and facing a lot of your own personal issues on that journey. That just meant that you had no choice but to start building your own business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It started out as a side hustle. Actually, it was. I got certified. Initially, I got certified for me, not because I wanted to make a living out of it. It was because I thought I needed something else. This is how far I can go on my own, and I need somebody who can lift me up to the next level. And so that's the reason why I signed up for the certification. And then I found out how powerful it really is. So I started helping other people. And figure if I can save somebody from the mess I went through, or at least shorten their journey back to the life they want to live, then it's not for nothing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my go. Then my burnout served a purpose in some way or form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my initial thought about it.
So I know we coming up to Christmas, end of the year. I know some of the ladies have been working really hard, and there's probably some things that they haven't checked off their list right now. But it seems like the holiday is looming. And should we take the time to really celebrate and relax, or should we use this time to get through our list? Because I know at this stage we could really feel that burnout at times if we've been really going at it all year round. So what would be your guidance on that if women have been really going at it, but they feel like, oh my God, I'm burning out, but I still have a million things to do?
Okay, let's start out by prioritizing things, because we have a tendency to put all kinds of crap on our list to do, right?
Mm.
So make your to-do list a ta-da list instead.
What's a
So
to-do list?
that's a happy to-do list.
I love that. What's your to-do list?
It's a list of things that's prioritized, things that can move you forward. If you take a look at your tasks and divide them up. Say, these are absolutely must do's, no matter what, like feed the kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure your company is running, stuff like that. Things that you absolutely have to do no matter what. That's a priority list. Then you look at
Mm.
those and you prioritize them by number. What's the most important? What have to happen first? The rest of your very long to-do list, which is for a lot of people, actually, when they get a closer look, they find out is imaginary. A lot of the stuff don't need to be there. So take the whole list and sort out your priorities, no matter what things. Whatever is left, take a look at that and say, is this my problem to solve? Or is it somebody else's problem? Or can it be outsourced? Women in particular, myself included, have a tendency to spread really thin in order to
Yeah.
serve everybody else, but they forget number one.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot take care of everybody else. I'm a living proof of that. If somebody didn't feed my kids back then, I'm not sure they would have gotten fed. And that, I know that's extreme, but please don't go there. So you have to take care of number one in order to be able to serve those you love with excellence, because that's what we're aiming for, isn't it? To serve those we love. But if we get burned out in the process, we're not worth much. And you know what's and this is going to be kind of tough, but it's necessary to say that. Who's paying the price if you burn out?
Wow.
The ones you love. Not you, the ones you love.
Gave me chills. Majbrit, this gave me chills. And
So
our body usually has a way of telling us that we had enough, right? And it will force you to shut down. If you don't take care of you, it will actually do a forced shut on you.
yeah, but that's the thing with women. We are extremely strong, so we can take it way beyond our body signals. So when we crash hard. We don't sort of crash. We crash hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
we're
like,
giving birth to children, right? So we have to be strong and have be what do you call in endurance.
yeah, invincible. We have to be the super moms and super women and handle everything. This reminds me of like having a laptop or a computer and you load it with so many pages, programs running. And then as you're about to go on like some important interview or a call, the whole system just shuts down. And like, I had enough of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sort of the same thing. It really is, because we just put loads on and loads on and loads on. So be aware of your to-do lists. Are they real, or are they just something that you accustomed yourself and your surroundings to? Because I mean, we teach our surroundings that
Yeah.
they can get away with whatever they get away with, right? We teach them because we want to serve them, and we do it. The meaning is good, but the price is high.
Yeah.
So be aware. And no kid ever died from putting their own laundry in the laundry basket. Not that I've heard of anyway.
It's not lethal.
Exactly. And
So
it's just all those little things that can be outsourced to your kids, your spouse, your whatever. And sometimes it's tasks where you can outsource the cleaning in the house, for instance. If uh, things like that, whenever you can spare yourself a little bit, because you're going to need to set aside time in your calendar, plot in at least 2 hours per week that is just labeled me time. Nobody touches that. Nobody touches that. And you don't plan in that hour times two. You don't plan anything. So if it's from 3 to 4, like 1 minute to 3, you still don't know what to do in there. You can't plan ahead in those me time where you, when the clock hits 3, you go like, okay, what do I want to do? What would make me happy right now? What would make me feel like I'm recharging my batteries right now?
yeah.
And then you do that.
We have a really great question, actually, which I'll just pop it on a screen. I'm struggling with starting, but I lose my motivation, focus after a while. So, if any advice and on how to stay motivated and focused. So, we lose motivation, right? We start something with a high, good intentions, but then after a little while, when we start to realize how big the task is, motivation goes. How to stay motivated?
Yeah, well, number one thing is that you need to know that you're perfectly normal. For one thing, it's totally normal. What happens is we go at it, we get this great idea, and we go like all fired up, and we just, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and we hit some struggles or some challenges or something where we don't know what to do, and sometimes that stops us because we figure, okay, I haven't thought of that. I don't know about this. So maybe I can't do it anyhow. Maybe we go, okay, I'm going to try my best to learn, and you do something and it doesn't work the first time. And you go like, I wasn't cut out for this. But there's a couple of things you can do to make sure that you continue moving forward. One is surround yourself with people who lift you up, not people who wants to drag you back into their comfort zone. Because when you go on a journey like this, when you start something and you're excited and fired up, it's a journey. It's a personal development journey for one, and it's a lot of new things you need to learn how to do. So you need to acquire a whole new set of skills, right? And it's tough, and it takes a lot of power. But whenever you want to go on a journey, not everybody you wish would come have packed their suitcase. So sometimes you have to leave them behind, not all the way behind, but they don't need to be in your first line. Your first line of interactions, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose them carefully when you're going on a journey. Make sure you have somebody who lifts you up and not somebody who holds you back. And then do the battle board, because that's going to keep you from feeling overwhelmed. And it will make sure you always know what to do next. And do you still meet challenges? Absolutely. And it's like that. Growing is challenges. Growing is tough and it's hard, but it's also fun. So, and you can ask anybody with success. One, it's a team sport. You can't do it alone. You can never do it alone.
Yep.
And 2, they made more mistakes than all of those who didn't have success.
But ultimately, mistakes lead to success. You can't expect to hit success the first time you hit the ground running. It's
No,
part of it.
I usually compare it to learning how to ride a bike, right? You fell the first time you tried, depending on how old you are. I'm old as dust. So back then we didn't have training wheels on bikes. So my dad was running behind me with a broomstick, and whenever he thought I was kind of ish ready, he let go of the broomstick and I fell over, right? But for every time we tried, I could drive a little bit longer before falling over. And eventually I learned. So, and it's like that whenever you build business, whenever you want to change something in your life or change course, change direction, You're going to be on that bike with that broomstick, no training wheels.
I mean, the better thing to do is to have someone who is going to guide you through it. So, have a coach who is that broomstick helping you out and leading the way. So, helping you not to fall down, because it doesn't matter how successful you are, there are times and there are things that will become hard. And with every new level of success, you need to level up, you need to learn new skills, and it's going to become scary. Your mind will get in the way and tell you that you're not able to do it. So having someone in your corner, it's just so powerful. So I my personal advice would be, have someone that will keep you on track, accountable, and help you clarify your goals. Because again, if you don't know what you're trying to achieve or why, then why are you on this journey, right? It's so important that you have and hold that vision for your purpose and your why really closely.
Yeah, it is. But also, and now I'm being like a bully again, but also to not let you be the victim, because we have a tendency when we get stranded with something, we challenge too hard, we go like, okay, maybe I can't, and we kind of like we blame ourselves that we can't, but nobody ever taught us. I mean, how could you when you haven't been taught yet? So, but
Yeah.
instead of like climbing up and saying it's probably just me, I'm dumber than everybody else. Don't play the victim. Be with somebody who can prevent that and say, hey, you got this. You can do this. I'm here for you. I'm cheering on you. I'm gonna cheer on you. I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna lift you. I'm gonna be there for you. So have
Yeah.
somebody like that in your corner,
Yeah.
because it's way too easy to give up otherwise.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, if you want someone in your corner and you want to connect with other amazing and inspiring women who have so much more to give and share with you on productivity hacks, business hacks, support on how to grow your business, I encourage you to go over to womenthrivesummit.com and register your spot for the upcoming virtual summit. This is the biggest annual women empowerment event there is, hosting more than 40 set. We've got nearly 50 amazing speakers coming up next year, and Majbrit is one of them who will be talking about high performance. So this is your opportunity to save a free spot. It doesn't cost anything. Register for upcoming summit. In the meantime, you will be invited to participate in mini events where you can connect with other women, grow your own network, find your mentors, find your own tribe and cheerleaders within our community. We have more than 500,000 people in our audience. So that means there are so many like-minded people who are going through similar challenges as you are right now. So go over to womenthrivesummit.com. And Margaret, how do you feel about speaking on the summit and your upcoming talk?
Oh, I'm so excited. You don't believe it. I'm so excited. I'm looking so much forward to it. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be fired up. And the only problem I have is it's just an hour.
Oh,
The art of limiting yourself, right?
yeah, of course. And just wanting to help people with their own struggles. Luckily, of course, people can follow up with you. They can follow you online. Where is the best place to connect with you? And hopefully, you'll come back to the chat and respond to some of the people who commented. But how can people connect with you?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and on Instagram is probably the two best ways. You can also follow me on TikTok.
Yay, fantastic. So maybe just drop your handle in the chat if you can. But ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this conversation has been helpful for you. If you're only catching this at the tail end, do make sure you come back once it's posted and watch it from the beginning. Majbrit has shared some amazing tips on beating your distractions, beating procrastination, and really becoming a productivity queen in your business. I know it's coming up to the end of the year. You really don't want to be burning yourself out. Majbrit just shared about her own story and struggles of burning out, and really you're not able to pour from an empty cup. So don't let your system shut you down. Take the time to look after yourself, clarify your goals, and really take that step forward towards being more productive, and being clear on what you're wanting to achieve. So, thank you so much to our lovely guest today. And thank you for being here today on this wonderful live. Do make sure you share it with someone who you think this would be helpful, or just share it with your own audience in your social media. We look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit in March. And in the meantime, if you're registered, you will be invited to our upcoming Speaker Showcase events. I think my Brit just frozen there for a second. Oh, it just dropped out. But lovely to see you all. Thank you all so much for your time and checking us out. And to make sure you invite your friends to be part of this event. This is the biggest global event for female entrepreneurs, business founders. This is an event about women empowerment and women in business. We have more than 50 amazing speakers on the summit happening every March. It attracts thousands of attendees, and this is your opportunity not only to learn and practice some skills, learn about how to grow your business, but we also really take a holistic approach to business. So you can learn strategies, techniques on how to grow your business, marketing, visibility, finance, and many of those amazing things, as well as how to really take care of yourself, because we all know that you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't serve others unless you serve yourself first. So we have a holistic approach to business and self-care. So we have an amazing coaches who will be doing talks on things like healing and energy work and spirituality, as well as some practical things on business. So thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate your questions and engagements. Don't forget to share this live or invite other women to be part of this amazing event. And we look forward to seeing you on the next live. Make sure you do tune in. We have another amazing speaker coming on in approximately 10 minutes. So we have another live coming up shortly. Thank you all for now and for being here. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care.